As a continuation from our previous video, we're going to continue to explore Lambda expressions from the perspective of the entity framework. So what we did in our last video was we did a select statement and we selected our database user row from our DB context and we converted it into a user view model. And then we took that iQueryable of user view model and then generated a list of user view model. And that gave us the outputting result. We were able to replace our statically built collection, and we were able to bind and update our database with a little bit of difficulty and get out what we needed in terms of a collection of results on our form. Now, if we wanted to go through the process of actually filtering out our collection, we can also do that using Lambda expressions. So let's go ahead and say that we have this context of users, and before we go through the process of creating user view models, we first want to filter them or limit them. We can do that by utilizing the where statement. So we can say context.users.where, and again, think of this very similar to what you would experience with writing a SQL select statement or a SQL statement using a where clause. So we'll say where, and we'll say dbu, and again, this is just the name of the variable that I'm using to write my function. You can think of this as your function argument, your input parameter, and for us, this input parameter is a user coming from our collection of users, which is in our DB context. I can also just call it X, and I'll be honest, when I write most of my code in a professional space, unless the variable names get confusing, the shorthand Lambda expressions, I often just use the variable X because X becomes my parameter, and then I just do my arrow, and then whatever X is the object I'm engaging with. So X in this case is still that same as DBU, it's that object, that user object coming from the database. So I'll say where X dot, and maybe we'll just do something simple. We'll say where the first name equals Larry. Now by doing that, and I shouldn't end it with that, I should leave it without the semicolon. So by doing that, what I'll get back is only users with the first name of Larry. Now these link functions, which is actually what this where and the select functions are, they're part of link. These functions are chainable, and what happens is you'll see that when we call context.users, we get back a DB set, and that's a specialized collection for the entity framework. If I mouse over the where statement, you'll see that the where statement returns to us an iQueryable of user, and these iQueryable types are what link uses to build out our expressions, our where statements, our selects, and so forth. So by then calling .select, I can take the resulting iQueryable, and I can then say select from that result set, which would really just be the two Larrys, select the user, and then create a new user view model, which will create our iQueryable then of user view model. And then that iQueryable gets converted to a list, and then our list is what we then send to our view as our model class. So we'll go ahead and hit save, and we'll build. Let's see what happens. And we'll see here that this time we only get back our two Larrys. We get Larry Page and Larry Ellison. And again, that is happening because of the filtering that we're doing inside of our controller. This one where line is doing all of that filtering for us.